So I got tested for HIV the other day. Turns out I have eczema. It's just true. Anyway, we're live.
You are now listening to Radio Rufus.
Yes, welcome back, you fruity crescent-shaped croissants, and welcome back to another rollicking episode of Radio Rufus. I, the debonair, eloquent Radio Rufus host, Rufus Rice, am joined by my brick house of a producer.
I like that, yeah.
So say hello to the people. Aidan, as always, every week we bring you...
Hello?
Oh, sorry, I didn't give you time to get your line in there. Yeah. Really important.
Yeah.
That's how important your line is. I'm happy to talk.
Do you know, like, the 2 weeks we didn't do it, there was like 10 comments, but I was committing to say hello.
Yeah. It's almost as angry as my sister will be when they ban those vapes.
Fuming?
Yeah, absolutely fuming. Ironically, she won't be fuming anymore.
Yeah. She's going to have to smoke like a real woman.
Yeah. But every week we bring you the latest and greatest news, sports, games, everything you could want. It's a traditional radio format with a twist, and the twist in question is a titty twist with both hands on each nip with a cattle prod having electricity fired through it. That's how it feels every week when I come in. I can't wait to have it done to me. I have to say, you might have noticed if you're watching this, we are filming this on the same day as the Halloween episode that went out last week, which is why I'm still dressed as Maverick from Top Gun. And can I just say, if you fuck up even a little bit, you'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit straight out of Hong Kong. so there we go.
That one gets me every time.
Yeah, that was what a line. As well as, of course, take me to bed or lose me forever, Goose.
The sexiest line in the history of cinema.
I don't know, it's not quite as sexy as Goose. The MIG data is out of alignment. Which is one of my personal favourites. And of course, I'll be your wingman anytime. Which is like the undercurrent of homoeroticism flowing through that entire film, actually.
That one line might be gayer than the entire volleyball scene.
Yeah, maybe. It might be gayer than last week's episode of Radio Rufus.
I wouldn't go that far. Come on now.
We're not sure about that. But that is why we've still got random pumpkins splashed around, because we were too lazy to take the decorations down.
We had like a 20-minute McDonald's break and we were not bothering to remove all this shit.
Most people listen to this, so they won't even know.
Yeah, good point.
I could do this in a pair of tighty whities and nipple tape and most people would have no idea. Yeah. I might actually be at a regular temperature then, because it is hot.
You should do that next week.
Yeah, maybe we should do a gimp special.
Yeah. Get those assless chops we once spoke about.
We could get the Canterbury gimp on.
Who the fuck is that?
You've never heard of the
Can I Google this man?
Yeah, you can Google him. I think he's got a TikTok. The Canterbury Gimp. Are you aware of Canterbury as a place?
Yeah.
I'm sure you know of their famous archbishop. Yeah, so in the news there, the news headline here is grunting man in gimp suit terrorizing people in Sleepy Village. I think that actually might be the Somerset Gimp.
Oh, is it?
Who's a different guy.
Is he his sidekick, or they operating?
They're like the Avengers.
Yeah.
They operate together, but they aren't. I don't think they're related.
Are you the Hove Gimp?
The Hove Gimp, yeah. I like that phrase.
Yeah, there's a lot of gimps.
I think Belle Delphine's the Hove Gimp.
She's the Hove Slag.
Okay, yeah, you're right. But yeah, so the Canterbury Gimp made TikToks of him basically walking around in broad daylight in the town square in Canterbury in a full gimp suit.
Right.
He's a personal hero.
Yeah.
But maybe we could both dress up gimpy and we can get him on and have a very gimpy episode.
I feel like we could definitely reach out to him, even if it means coming in through Zoom on this future TV device.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to take the ball gag out before we do the show.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's going to be crap, isn't it?
Yeah, he looks like fucking Venom from Spider-Man there.
He does look like Venom, yeah. It's arguably scarier.
Yeah. What he'd do to you would be scarier.
I think it's what you do to him.
Yeah, right.
It's like jazz.
Gimps are passive, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. It's like jazz. It's the people he doesn't bum. If you know what I mean. It's the notes you don't play. Yeah. It's the people that he doesn't bum that's the important bit.
Yeah.
As he bums you. Speaking of bumming, let's move on to not news. I guess we sort of cracked straight into the news with an accidental news article then from kentlive.uk, but we'll move on to the most impressive act of Irish sports since the football team almost qualified for the 2010 World Cup. Have they qualified for a tournament since then?
Euro 2016, famously.
Famously?
Yeah.
I feel like they got really outdone by Wales beating Belgium.
Yeah.
That was the big story, really.
We got to the knockout stages.
Oh, really?
Beat Italy, went 1-0 up against France, who fucking won the thing in the third minute, then lost 2-1.
I do remember that now. Yeah. Anyway, since then, you haven't done a whole lot.
No.
But a mountain climber from Sligo was found by a rescue team on Mount Rinjani on the island of Lombok in Indonesia, casually smoking a cigarette after falling 650 feet down the active volcano.
Fucking hell.
To give you an idea of how far 650 feet is, you know the Washington Monument in DC?
Yeah.
That big tower at the end of that pool?
Mm.
It's 100 feet more than that.
It's like if you stacked 100 of me on top of each other.
Yes. Yeah, 100 of you. He fell that far.
Yeah, that's fucking mad.
I was particularly interested in that story because I've hiked this volcano.
Oh, have
Me
you?
and my dad did it on a trip once.
How nervous were you walking around it?
I have to say, I understand how someone would fall off this thing because basically it's literally the rim of the crater and you're walking up the rim to the highest bit of the crater, right?
Right, okay.
And it's a really sandy, it's one of those things, you take a step forward and you're almost back where you started, your foot slips so far every time. It's literally just like walking up a sort of gravelly beach. And it's about, you do it in the dark.
Right.
Because you're hiking up for sunrise.
Yeah.
So on the way up, you're like, this is just, I can't see anything, right? And on the way down, you realise it's about 1.5 meters wide.
Fuck.
On either side. And that's like, there's no way you're going up that in the light.
Yeah, you can see how it happened then.
Coming down, you're like, the shitters are up you, for sure. Yeah. So he rolled down the hiking trail and off a cliff. But when they found him, he had a few cuts on his shoulder and a couple of scratches on his legs. And he was found chilling under the shade of a tree and puffing on a smoke, which I think is just awesome.
That is class.
Yeah.
You just know that he lit the cigarette off the volcano as well. And not even one of them ones.
I'm not sure.
Where you go in with your hand.
I'm not sure that's how it works.
I don't know. I feel like he would have went full tilt with this and just smoked
Do you
it
imagine
off the lava.
that every volcano has the pool of lava sitting in the middle?
Of course it does. Don't be silly.
Oh, well, no, I hate to break it to you. This one's got a lake in the middle of it. Yeah, it is active though, sort of. I know they tell you that, and you want to see some explosions.
So it's active, but there's no lava.
Well, it's exploded in the last 50 years, is what active means.
Right. Okay.
And there's often stuff puffing out of it, but like there's no lava on the surface. Not when I went, there was no lava on the surface. There's actually a lake in the middle of it.
If I went to an active volcano and there was no lava spitting up at me, I'd be fuming.
Yeah. Well, they do brand it extremely well. But basically, the fact that you've got the wherewithal after falling that far to light a fag as well, and just that is really cool. He thanked his rescuers and promised, "I won't go too far from the hotel from now on." And that's like the words of a schoolboy promising that he won't do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like he asked to go to the toilet, but went and played ping pong for an hour.
Yeah. And when he got caught, he was like, "I won't do it again."
Yeah. Next time.
Yeah. So,
sorry.
Well, go on.
With like the ignorance and pride of your average Irishman, I'm very surprised he even accepted medical attention. That's like something that happens to your granda, and you don't hear about it like 30 years later at like a dinner table, and he's just like, "Oh, do you remember that time I fell into the volcano?" And you're like,
"Yeah."
That's a vital piece of lore most people would be dying to tell someone.
It wouldn't surprise me if that guy who had to saw off his own arm was Irish.
Yeah,
because that's what Irish people really are like. They're like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah, we love that shit.
I'm missing an arm, but I'm good.
It's a flesh wound.
The problem that he had was basically he got stuck in a. You can't really climb out of where he got stuck. It's a bit of a ravine. But I mean, the phrase "luck of the Irish" has never been so apt here. He was rescued by a team that happened to be right there, salvaging the corpse of an Indonesian teenager who fell a few days earlier.
Fuck.
So there was a rescue team just chilling right there.
He could have been waiting there for fucking days.
Yeah.
You know what's mental as well? I guarantee that prick fell from a much like smaller height than the
Teenager.
Slego man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and he still managed to sort of style it out and have the knack to light a cigarette after.
Yeah. I mean, unreal luck there. But basically, he rang the hotel desk and they got in contact with the team and they managed to basically winch him back up to safety. And then he gave the rescuers a big hug as a thank you, which is a nice gesture, I guess.
Yeah.
And the medical team that checked him said miraculously he was completely fine, which is just unbelievable. Yeah.
You had a worse fucking fall. What was it happened to you a while ago where you had like the plaster on your face?
Oh, I got in a bike accident in Croatia,
Yeah.
but I didn't fall 650 feet.
But you're probably still in worse shape than this fella.
I fell a maximum of 2 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And you came in looking like fucking Nelly for the next 2 podcasts.
Nelly. What happened to him?
He just used to famously wear like a plaster on his cheek.
Did he?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Oh shit! He's got. It looks like a zin, doesn't it? He's got.
It does a bit, yeah.
He's got a snus. He's snussing from the outside. I actually think that's sort of.
He's got a hole in his jaw.
Yeah, yeah. It's like Jimi Hendrix used to cut his forehead and then put acid on the inside of his bandana,
Jesus.
and then it would go through his forehead while he was so he could play while it was going in.
That's kind of genius.
Maybe Nelly's cut his cheek there and he's put a snus, and then he can snus on the while he's rapping. Anyway, so shout out to that guy. And the only question I really have for him is, can I have one? Next up, our next story, the number one Peruvian celebrity, Paddington Bear, has been granted a passport by British authorities. The producer of the new Paddington film, Rob Silver, revealed in an interview on Monday. I don't know if he's a relative of Tiago or David.
I'd say Tiago is more likely.
You think the Paddington director, Rob Silver, is related to Tiago Silva?
Yeah.
Yeah.
More feasibly than David.
What have you based that on?
The fact that Tiago is Brazilian and David is Spanish.
Yeah, but what about Rob?
Fuck Rob.
Rob Silver is who we're talking about.
Yeah.
So he revealed in an interview on Monday that Paddington has been given a passport. We wrote to the Home Office asking if we could get a replica, and they actually issued Paddington with an official passport before showing it to the interviewer and saying it's only one of those. Under official observations, it says bear. I'm absolutely fuming about this.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. They're handing them out to anyone these days.
Handing them out to anyone. That bear, right, from Peru.
Yeah.
That's who he says he is. Could be from anywhere, right?
How did he get here?
How did he get here?
Yeah.
They found him at a train station, but I mean, there's space on some of those boats.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. How did he get here? Big question. Also, he hasn't come here through official means. I believe he just turned up. He's not a skilled worker.
No, not at all.
He's not bringing anything that would help the British economy.
Just draining our...
Entered this country illegally.
Yeah. Draining all the resources.
My tax money and your tax money has paid for that passport. And I'm not joking about this either. Like, the Home Office, right, is a publicly funded thing, right? And they've made a passport, and we've actually paid. Not doing a joke. We've actually paid for the Paddington Bear to have a real passport made, which is so ridiculous.
It's people like Paddington
Yeah,
who's the main cause of the NHS being on its ass.
yeah. Is that greedy shit's Paddington?
Yeah.
If it was up to me, straight to Rwanda with this guy.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
He loves that sort of place anyway. He's an adventurer at heart.
Whatever happened to the fucking... Do you remember the TikToks that the Home Office was paying people to make to get immigrants? So
Yeah, unfortunately, they didn't do that program in Peru.
yeah.
Otherwise, he might have stayed home.
Yeah, but on the borders, whenever he was trying to get in here,
Yeah.
was there no one to like dance him away?
That's true.
Maybe it was like a split shift or something.
Shortages. We had such a shortage at school once of equipment. This was a 1 year I did at a rogue school. And we played football once, and we had to have 2 guys stand as the posts because the field we were on didn't have any goals.
That is... Use fucking your jumper.
Yeah, but what about the height though?
Yeah, but still, it's not that serious. Also,
only
if you're standing as one of the posts and a ball is going in, you're going to move across. Or you're going to like stick your hand
I'm
out.
heading it in.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, he could be bringing all manner of diseases into this. He's a bear.
Yeah.
He's a bear.
And like kilos of very suspicious substances.
From Peru, nonetheless.
Yeah. Mm.
Well, he said he's an explorer by trade.
That's what they all say.
That's what they all say.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you. Could be bringing anything into this country inside those stitching of his.
We need to tighten up border control.
Could be bringing Ebola into the country.
Yeah.
From the Amazon. Whatever they've got going on there.
Do you still have your EDL membership? Because I think we need to get the bomb back together.
I'm subscribed.
Yeah.
I'm subscribed to the EDL. I get their monthly newsletter.
Yeah.
If in doubt, kick it out.
Put a like reply all email and get the lads together and we'll sort this out.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Just beat him?
I reckon beat him and then beat everyone else that isn't just thoroughbred.
The associates.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other bears. Hey, it's looking rough for Winnie the Pooh right now. I can't lie. He's about to get skinned.
He can fucking stay where he's at.
Tell you what, the Gruffalo is going to be on the wrong end of my shotgun at some
I don't know. I think Yogi Bear packs a punch though. You need like a few men to take him out.
Oh, we've got enough skinheads
Yeah.
around here to take him out. Let's turn him into a fucking rug. Another quote from the producer. You wouldn't think the Home Office would have a sense of humour, but it turns out they do. It's
Yeah.
not splitting at the sides, let's put it that way. It's part of a PR stunt for the third Paddington film. Here's a quote from the director. I was apprehensive about taking on the project. Paddington 2 is one of the greatest films of all time. I really hope we don't let down the fans.
I mean, it's a good
Is
film,
it?
but it's not one of the fucking greatest
Nobody
of all time.
thinks that.
Nah.
You don't go on lists and be like, oh yeah, The Godfather.
It's people talking up their own position to make themselves. It's for self-importance.
He said, I've faced a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
And it was difficult to decide to accept this project because Paddington 2 is so great.
Yeah.
But it's not, though.
People never really face that either because the majority of films has like a trilogy or even a sequel. The sequel's always shit. So he might be the first person to ever have these thoughts. If it's from like a different director.
No one ever mentions it. You're like, oh, well, have you seen anything good lately? Oh, Paddington 2.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. I mean, Paddington 1 was dog shit.
I love both of them, like, but
Do you?
it doesn't really suit this narrative.
Yeah, because our official stance at Radio Rufus is fuck Paddington and
Yeah, get
everyone
them
he's
out.
involved with.
Get them all out.
Yeah,
There needs to be a fucking uprising in this country.
yeah.
More protests.
I'm surprised the Americans let that little rat E.T. in.
Yeah, fuck that.
He don't even know where he's
He
from.
won't be going anywhere near my BMX.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such an American thing to have a basket in the end of your bike, isn't it? Have you ever seen that over here?
Yeah, that's true.
Why the fuck do you need a basket? You're fucking 8.
Well, it's been used for smuggling illegals
Yeah.
across that border.
Pricks.
The thing is, that's what you don't see in that film, is the times when it's not the alien. It's just Mexican babies being...
With a towel around them.
Yeah, he just goes straight to Guadalajara and picks them up and takes them in, mate. It's all part of a big thing.
Yeah. So you reckon E.T. and Paddington's in cahoots?
They're all at it.
It's a ring?
Yeah, 100%. Who else is it? Paul?
The aliens that were in the attic?
Oh, the aliens who are in the attic are a big problem.
Yeah.
They're squatters, mate. They're
So many of them.
illegal squatters.
And them
coming
fuckers
into my
know,
attic.
they know their rights.
Yeah.
The second you go out for you go down the road for a sausage roll or something out of Greg's, they'll be down and they own the place.
Suddenly it's their town.
Yeah.
Absolutely running it. Off your tax dollars.
Gets me fucking fuming.
Right. So after we skin Paddington, we'll head on to those. Let's move on to our next story, and we're staying political here because former Prime Minister Boris the Crouching Dragon Johnson,
He wouldn't have stood for that shit.
he wouldn't have stood for
Nah.
that shit. Yeah. I like the Crouching Dragon as a nickname as well.
Great.
Didn't know that was his nickname. He revealed he discussed plans with senior military officials to conduct an aquatic raid on a Dutch warehouse to seize COVID vaccines from the EU during the height of the pandemic. So obviously we produced AstraZeneca vaccines in the UK.
Was that the one that gave you clots? What was one that was tested out and it was found to give people blood clots?
Gave me a rash.
Did it?
I was actually in Spain when I got COVID, right? And the Spanish government issued me a fake negative test so I could leave.
Fuck, fair play to them.
Because I had all the symptoms.
Yeah.
And I knew it was fake because I went in and did the test, and they gave me one in like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
They gave me straight back, negativo, and said, mate, you're all good to fly. You're all cleared. Because obviously they have a sensible sort of policy, mate. If in doubt, get it out. So we produced loads and loads of vaccines. I don't think they were the clotters. I'm not sure, though.
There was another name for it, I can't remember.
Moderna? Pfizer?
Pfizer, I think it was.
Oh, it's Pfizer that does it. Yeah, right.
I don't know what the fuck one I got, but...
Very sort of Aaron Rodgers. He hates those vaccines, yeah. So basically, we sent, in a trade deal, we sent some over to the EU, but Bojo was basically a bit upset about how we were being treated. So he was like, I don't like bloody EU.
Yeah.
Bloody Polish people coming over here, becoming plumbers and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to show them some of their own business. I know we've agreed on this trade deal and we've sent you the vaccines already. But he commissioned some work by the Defense Department, whether it might be technically feasible to launch an aquatic raid on a warehouse in Leiden in the Netherlands and to take back what's legally ours. So the Deputy Chief of Defence, Lieutenant General Doug Chalmers, told the Prime Minister the plan was absolutely feasible.
Yeah.
And basically we'd used like sort of rigid inflatable boats, like sort of migrant vibe, I guess.
Yeah.
To navigate the Dutch canals, right? And then rendezvous at the target, enter, secure the hostage goods, exfiltrate using an articulated lorry, take it back to the ports, and get it over to Dover.
This sounds like the worst ever remake of Mission Impossible, but it would absolutely be the first in queue whenever that comes into the cinema.
I think it sounds a bit like, you know, when you forgot that a presentation was due, and the teacher reminds you, and you've got 5 minutes to come up with something.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is going to be the plan. Like, he forgot he had to present that day. And he's like, right, we'll go in there. Boats, canals, boats, hostage goods, target, back to Dover. Gosh.
He fucking aced it.
Yeah, he did do a good job. Because sometimes you ever rely on a group member to make a PowerPoint and then you read it and it's like the most illegible. It just looks like hieroglyphic.
Like, what the fuck is this shit?
You use yellow on a white background and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? So you start to question the comprehension levels of the average human.
Yeah.
Rapidly decreasing. It's like, these don't even line up.
There's always that one prick, though, that done it with every group, and I always get stuck with them.
Yeah.
Every single time. I'm just picturing, by the way, like, do you know the fucking red light district with the canals and stuff? Just seeing Bojo row his way down.
Yeah. Hey, at least you can stop off afterwards.
Yeah, that's true. You'd have the money for it.
I'm handy, yeah.
How much do you reckon a Honda is in the red lights?
Wow, what a question. I think they just...
Make it up.
Well, my economics teacher told me a story at school.
Right.
When he was on a lad's trip to Amsterdam when he was a teenager.
Yeah.
And he was using this to like prove some kind of economic principle about supply and demand or something.
Yeah.
But it was a very inappropriate example to a bunch of 14-year-old kids.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I went in to negotiate for my mate. I did not partake.
Did you
That's
not?
what he said.
Yeah. Fucking sure you
said,
didn't.
I went in to negotiate, and he was like, oh, well, how much money is that going to be? And she goes, how much you got? Yeah. And that's why, kids, you never go into a negotiation with all the money on you.
Yeah.
You agree the money, and then you go back for it.
Like, I've got £5 and a pack of chewing gum.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Never lay money on you. I think they just rode them for suckers and took all the money they had.
Yeah. I was in Amsterdam a few months ago, and we went on this like canal boat tour.
Yeah.
And the two people that were in front of us, was like 3 p.m. in the day, were both like red light hookers.
Oh, really?
So strange, seeing them out and about. Like
just
during daytime, yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm assuming they are.
Or they just
they looked at like, and there were such loud fucking like Portuguese women.
Okay.
And they were dressed like hookers.
Okay.
And they were on about like talking to each other about what time they start tonight, and it was very unsociable hours.
Could be a bartender.
Not with them tits.
No. Anyway, Chalmers, the chief of defence, told Boris Johnson it would be difficult to carry out the mission undetected.
Yeah.
Meaning the UK, basically, we could do it. We could steal that.
Yeah.
We will get caught. the UK would have to explain why we are effectively invading an ally.
Yeah.
A long-standing NATO ally.
Maybe not worth the risk, Bojo.
Well, I think it's mental he even came up with this idea. Let's be real.
Do you reckon it's just a case of him being bored in the office and he wants, I want like a lads trip?
Oh, do you think he was going to do it personally?
Yeah, he was leading this charge, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it's a bit like a sort of...
Like the best leaders always die with their soldiers on the front lines.
Right.
Bojo's that type of guy in my eyes.
Was he imagining a booze cruise?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I've heard he drinks a lot of Whispering Angel in the Parliament.
I've no idea what that is, but I'm sure
Like
he
he
does.
gets pissed in the mornings.
What is Whispering Angel?
Rosé.
That explains why I don't know it.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Did Rosé exist where you lived?
There's a lot of women with that name. Well, it's just Rose.
Yeah.
By the way, whenever we took a break, we had a McDonald's and Rufus was drinking fucking wine with it, which is pretty strange.
I don't think there's anything wrong with having a Mackies and a glass of wine.
It's just such a contradictory combination.
And a flute, you know. It was nice. Yeah. Have to say, McDonald's Sprite and a wine. I mean, it's basically a spritzer. It's absolutely delicious.
It was a great suggestion.
Yeah, the girls in the office were jealous. They were looking. 100%. They were looking at me fuming.
Yeah, they were over like stressed out trying to organize shit. And
yeah.
They
were doing jobs.
Yeah, on the nuggets and the wine.
The nuggets and the wine. What a combo. Right. Let's get to our next story then. And big news. Enormous step forward for science today as medical students at the University of Birmingham dissected a corpse and stumbled upon a man with 3 cocks.
This is fucking amazing.
This is the best news of the week by a mile.
My main question, just whenever reading the headline, do you reckon it's like, do you ever see Total Recall? Where there's like the woman, it's like
no, I thought you were going to say Total Wipeout.
Well, great show.
I've seen that.
Well, there's basically a woman in it. It's like a sci-fi film, and she's got 3 tits, but they're all like perfectly evenly sized.
She's got a middle tit.
Yeah, middle tit, and then a left and a right tit, and they sort of invert outwards. Do you reckon each cock is the same size, or do they like vary in girth and length?
Well, we're going to get to that. If you could actually look up this story, they do have a useful diagram.
Oh, a diagram?
Yeah. Which will tell you exactly how it's laid out. A map, if you will.
Mm.
Yeah, so they'll be on there. So this is an incredibly... There we go. If you just stop there. Yeah. This is an incredibly rare medical condition. So it's estimated that 1 in 6 million men have 2 dicks.
Right.
Because we found 100 cases of that in about 400 years of medical history. But there is only one other example ever found of someone with a tri-willy, which was a baby born in Iraq in 2020.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome. So this latest discovery was from a 78-year-old man who died and donated his body for research.
Was he aware his whole life that he had 3 cocks?
Well, that's what we'll get onto with this extremely helpful diagram. Now. So that red section there, that's his second penis. And in the green, that's his third penis. Obviously, not as impressive as the main penis.
Yeah.
And it's still inside his ballsack. So he's got 3 cocks, but only one of them he can see.
That's fucking pointless.
The other 2 are inside his nuts.
Yeah.
Which means he was likely unaware of his condition for his whole life. So you can see that cock 2 in the red has a yellow passage running through it.
Yeah.
So that one actually was the first one to develop, and it has its own urethra. Yeah. That's just connected back up inside.
So can he like jizz inside his own ball bag?
Well, I don't think he ever did that, and I don't think it's not properly connected to the balls, I don't think.
Yeah. See, I like the idea of having 3 cocks and like stacking them.
Oh yeah, is that you'd have a traffic light?
Yeah, but having them like
I sort of want the sprinkler.
Side.
I think I want them horizontally stacked.
Yeah, you want the Total Recall cock.
Yes,
I'll show you this.
The Total Recock. So one of the internal penises is connected to the urethra. So basically, what they think happened was his urethra originally developed in the secondary penis, but it failed, and then it diverted course and developed his main penis. And he's got that third penis hanging in there as well.
Yeah.
So he does have 3 cocks, but it's not quite as impressive as you would have wanted.
No. And if that diagram is to scale, it's possible that this man has 3 cocks, and combined they're still smaller than the average, which is fucking embarrassing.
It is upsetting to die and your legacy being having 3 small dicks.
Surely odds are you have 1 fucking hammer on you.
Well, I imagine he would have had a hammer, but it got divided up.
Yeah, true.
Because I think your body only produces so much penis.
So whenever you cut like
shared it
into
out.
triangles.
He shared it out. It's communism in action there. Nobody wins. Yeah. And it's got to be rough for the students in Birmingham. You've had a big night, coming into lecture hall, got a 9 a.m. 3 cock wonder shows up. It's got to be rough.
The last thing you want, and especially whenever you're dying with a hangover, is to discover something like this. You want an easy day.
Yeah.
You don't have to be fucking talking to the press.
Any other day, I'll take the 3 cocks, but today, it's not. Think about bright LED lighting, lecturer shouting at you in a really thick accent that you don't understand. And then... Right, let's move on to our sports segment, Snatch of the Day now, and a huge update from the shocking controversy that plagued the World Conquer Championships when we covered them a few weeks ago. David Jenkins, we've been over this, declared the winner of the 2024 tournament before getting embroiled in a massively wide-reaching cheating scandal, has officially been cleared of wrongdoing following an investigation by the organising committee. He said in an interview, "I'm so relieved to be cleared. It's been a stressful week. We are gentlemen at the World Conquer Championships and we don't cheat.
Yeah.
I've been praying and practicing for decades. That's how I won. I admit, I had the steel conquer in my pocket, but I didn't play with it. I show it to people as a joke, but I won't be bringing it again." I don't believe him.
Yeah.
I just really have a tough time because, like, he's part of the committee. A cover-up is easy. A conspiracy could easily form here.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
I feel like they were that embarrassed at the fact that after 46 years he still hadn't won, so they just kind of to cover it up.
He's 82 years old. He's on his last legs. He might have 3 cocks, and you got to get a win.
Yeah, before he passes away.
You got to get a win before he passes away.
I know it's like innocent until proven guilty. I doubted him right away.
Yeah.
But it still remains even after he was cleared.
This reminds me of the Hugh Edwards case.
I'm not aware.
Hugh Edwards. Don't know. The main BBC presenter, Welsh guy.
Right, okay.
Silver Fox. Very respected face of the BBC.
Was he a paedophile?
Well, so he basically was outed for texting children last year.
I love as soon as you mention BBC, that's where your head goes.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they've got a rich history of it.
Yeah.
It's a vein of form stretching back a while. And then he was in court earlier this year about saying everything, and he's got like charges of people of sending him videos of kids and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And like he was respected for years. Right? It's out of place to see a respected broadcast figure like that in the courtroom. It feels wrong. It's not in the right place. And this, this feels wrong to me in the same way. A respected organizer of the tournament.
Yeah.
Right? Of course he's pleading not guilty.
It looks bad for the whole
It looks bad for
Conqueror
the whole
Championships.
Yeah. It shadows doubt over the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's a member of the committee. He's an inside job. It is an old boys club.
Yeah.
It's an inside face. It looks totally wrong. They were hush about it for years. He's still trying to get off of it. It stinks of wrongdoing, mate.
Do you reckon they'll send that BBC presenter or King Conquer, if it's ever revealed that he was lying, to a fucking island to make like a documentary? Like they done
I
with
would love to
Schofield?
see King Conquer on the island.
Yeah.
Good luck finding any fucking conkers out there, mate.
Even though, again, there's a lot of doubt over it, that's what, 45, 46 years of hurt that has finally ended for King Conquer.
Yeah.
And as much as it might
That's how the song goes. 47 years of hurt. Never stop me cheating. That's good. King Conquer anthem.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's your next party.
That's good, yeah. Steel nut in my pants, in my arse. Steel nut up my arse. Smuggled past the judges. Smashing all your nuts. I can only think of trumpet as the only word that rhymes there.
With judges.
Judges, pull it out my arse. Turn your nuts to mush. Yeah. Sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Really good. Glad that workshopping parodies in real time. This is why people ask me, how do you come up with them?
Yeah.
Well, there we go. I mean, we just
Like
saw
this.
we just saw how the sausage is made right there. So yeah, I still think, and the bit that hasn't been, really answered is the secondary allegation that because he was on the organising committee, he could see all the conkers and marked the strings for the hard nuts.
Which I think he doesn't need to be punished for cheating. He needs to be put to death for being such a gimp, being such a nerd to do that.
Yeah. I will stand up for people are allowed niche interests, Aidan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But taking it this seriously whenever you were so shit at it for 46 years instead of just packing it in.
That is another thing. You would have won before.
Yeah. Learn how to fucking knit or something, or enter a raffle for Werther's Originals jeans.
Yeah, he would love those.
Yeah.
He could keep his cheating bloody nuts
all
in
the
each
steam
one.
nuts. He could have 30 of them.
Yeah.
Which one's the joke?
Apparently, the tournament draws 2,000 spectators. Which, who's going to that?
I don't think I know a single person that would attend that.
Also, there's 256 competitors. It's a huge knockout bracket.
That must last like fucking days.
Well, no, the games are only like 2 minutes.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
Especially when Jenkins is playing straight through with
with that fucking steel nut.
with the metal nut. Yeah. But basically, the investigation found no evidence that the steel conker was used. King Conker has been cleared of suspicion, and his name is being engraved on the trophy. It's a little bit like
Like all City's Premier League titles.
Yes, that's good. Yeah. Like we found well, there's a sort of still ongoing, but the name has been engraved on the trophy in City's case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we still don't know how legit it all was. We'll find out in the next year or so.
I'd like one demotion per charge.
Yeah. So we'll be playing in like the fucking Irish 3rd division.
Yeah, it's as far down as it goes.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got to move. They probably can't play in the
Have
English.
to go to San Marino.
Yeah, San Marino tier.
Yeah.
Yeah. There would be. Do you think there would be players? Do you think if they got demoted, there would be players who stuck with the club?
No, not these days. It happened in like 2004 where Juventus, they got relegated for match fixing, and a lot of players did stay with them and come back up the next year.
Yeah.
But it'll never happen because it'll lose the Premier League too much money.
It would make my dreams come true.
Yeah, can you imagine seeing City back in fucking League One where they belong?
Oh, that'd be glorious.
Yeah.
Let's see how many real fans they have when they got Grimsby Town away, mate. That's the real test.
Yeah.
Soulless shit club. Right. Let's move on to our next segment then. This is You're a Ranker. Today we're ranking our top 3 athletes of all time. Any sport, any gender, across the history of history. So big category today. Aidan, you're number 3.
My number 3 is this fella that lives in my local parish called Jared, and he basically just walks the roads 24/7. I don't think he actually has a home.
His name's Jared.
Like, yeah, Jared.
Oh, Jared.
No, just Gerd.
Oh, Jared.
Yeah.
That's his name.
Yeah.
Jared.
That's it.
Are people called that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, well,
Jared.
it is his birth name, I
Funny
believe.
name, yeah.
But he like walk around just trying to find a house that will accept him in for a cup of tea. But if you do make the mistake of welcoming him into your home, he'll stay for like 7 hours. And there was this time where my mum had got fucking shafted, and he stayed.
Did she?
He stayed in the house for like 3 hours, and the next time she saw him coming, we were like, right, we'll hide. So he just fucking takes a hint and goes to the next door.
Yeah.
There was like 5 minutes went by, and there was no more knocks. It sort of died down, so we tried to go back up into the kitchen to see him halfway through the living room window, trying to like fucking climb into the house.
Right.
You have to admire his engine though. Like he walks
Oh, yeah.
all fucking day, every day.
The work rate is crazy.
Yeah, he is. He's like a village idiot.
I've got a couple of questions about
Yeah,
what sport is that?
long distance walking, and just the fucking
Right.
engine that man has.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's the
so-
most athletic man in my parish.
okay. He's sort of he's a break-in merchant.
That happens in rural Ireland. People will look and climb through windows, and it's not really a problem. It's just kind of accepted.
So when he did come to your house, is he a polite guy? Is he?
He is also probably heavily autistic. Like he's on some sort of spectrum. And some people take the piss out of him. Someone just gave him a donkey one day, and he just had to walk the donkey with him.
It's just funny. I'm just laughing at the fact somebody has one around to give him. I don't know anybody with a donkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good. My number 3 is Lily Phillips.
Again, good engine.
We're just taking. There are some people who just never get injured.
Yeah.
And seemingly, Lily Phillips is up for it at all times.
The only injury she'll get is like a cold sore.
The best ability is availability. And Lily Phillips is scarily available.
Yeah. Always, week in, week out.
Frighteningly available.
Yeah, she's a manager's dream.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She is, the Bruno Fernandes. She's the engine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you don't know who Lily Phillips is or what she's been up to, I doubt it. Made the news a lot, but she set up shop in Nottingham during Freshers Week with another Bonnie Blue, who's another sort of OnlyFans girl. And those two really are Xavi and Iniesta. It's unreal.
Yeah.
They had a deal going that if you could shag them, anyone, as long as they can film it. And they had hundreds and hundreds of people turn up to their house, I guess.
And you had to it was a hotel.
Hotel,
yeah. And you had to bring a student ID to prove how young you were, which is mental.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's really grim. Wow. I've still got mine.
Yeah, you could fucking hit that up.
It's still valid.
I don't think you'd need the student ID. I think they
probably know me.
Yeah.
I have met her.
Yeah.
Lily Phillips. Not in that
capacity.
Not in that context. Yeah. No. She was just there, but yeah. Big fan of your work. I wish I supported your team. But I don't. Unfortunately. And Lily Phillips, probably the number one Willie taker. Or worldwide at the moment. She's really in her prime. So what can we say apart from applauding her for her tenacity and grit?
And also each of those 100 odd men might have 3 to 5 minutes in them. She's not getting tea breaks. She's fucking flat out. Next man's in.
Yeah.
Shagged again. Next man's in.
Yeah.
She's consistent throughout the whole day.
She's giving it all in extra time.
Yeah.
She's like charging around the pitch.
She's
like
4-0 up and just chasing down a loose ball in the 96th minute.
Yeah.
She's one of those. She's like Alexis Sanchez in his prime.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a rabid little terrier.
Yeah.
Yeah. A knob terrier. Sort of something. You know what I mean? She's a schlong something.
Yeah.
Another dog.
I don't know my dogs.
Yeah, me neither. I hate them. A dingleberry is not the same.
Yeah, that's not a type of dog, no.
A dingle Doberman.
A knobweiler.
A knobweiler, that's really good, yeah. So there we go. That's my number 3. Number 2?
My number 2 is Deji. If you can look past
what a sport.
Boxing. If you can look past his 2 wins to 4 losses record, you can really appreciate the athleticism. That man went 6 rounds with fucking Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah.
And also, whenever KSI put up £1 million, if Deji got a 6-pack in 6 months, he almost did it. Almost. So I think you need to respect that.
So your number 2 athlete has a 2-4 win-loss record and almost has a 6-pack. Yeah. I think, I do think Jerd is going to be upset with that placement. He was on my shortlist.
Yeah.
It's incredible that he's not even the best boxer in his own family, which is insane to think about. But I know I like the placement. I think he's got potential.
Yeah.
And he does play an actual sport, unlike the 2 people we've just mentioned of the top 3 athletes of all time. So there we go. My number 2, you know him, you love him. We've been over him. Joey Chestnut.
Fucking legend of his game.
Fucking legend of the game. In terms of competitive hot dog eating, there's no one like him.
Yeah.
Was a 17-time world champion And
there's no debating the GOAT in that sport. He's made it so one-sided.
That documentary came out, right? Kobayashi versus Chestnut.
Yeah.
Kobayashi, his main rival. Right. Joey worked the floor with him. He dusted him off in that.
I've always been a big Chestnut guy.
Yeah, we've always been a Chestnut. We love a Chestnut. Yeah. That old Chestnut.
That was out the second time in 2 weeks that joke's been
2
used.
weeks that joke's been made. I forget the stats, but I believe he ate nearly as many hot dogs in 5 minutes in a demonstration as Kobayashi ate in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not even close. He's cut above, you know.
Funny enough, the person probably most fit to challenge him would be Lily Phillips.
Yeah, that's true. Well, she can take it from anywhere. Like she's got 3 times as many spaces for the hot dog.
She has a lot of orifice space, and she could probably fit 2 in at times.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
Seen it with my own eyes. I haven't.
Yeah.
Your number one then, Aidan.
My number one is, I know you're not really familiar with WWE, but does Hornswoggle ring a bell?
I thought that was from Harry Potter.
It's not. I don't know who the fuck you're thinking.
What's
of.
a Hornswoggle?
Hornswoggle is his name. He was this little like dwarf leprechaun character that lived under the ring.
So you had a lot in common.
Yeah, basically he's a national hero of mine.
Right.
And he's basically a slave to this Irish wrestler Finlay, whose weapon was like a fucking shillelagh.
Okay.
But he did, oftentimes if someone needed a bit of help, he'd just appear from under the ring. That was his home. Right. And he'd jump up, give them a bit of a hand. And the peak of his powers was in like 2008, 9, 10, where he was an official member of DX with Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
I've been to China and understood more, to be honest. Whatever that was. I'm sure all the people at home...
There'll be like at least 3 people that will respect that answer for how the
so
greatness
your top
it
3
deserves.
Your top 3 athletes of all time are a leprechaun, a YouTuber, and a homeless man.
Yeah.
And arguably, out of those 3, Deji is the best athlete.
I'm sticking with Hornswoggle. You've never seen
I reckon
that man
if you
in
drop
action.
him and Deji in the ring, Deji's going to finish him off.
He could probably get a bit of airtime if he got his foot under him.
Yeah. My number 1 athlete. I think, on average, across every sport, Ty from Dude Perfect is the best athlete of all time.
He is a fucking marksman.
He is good.
Great at everything.
Every single sport.
Yeah.
36 battle wins.
He's just so consistently good across the board.
I looked it up. Out of 39 Dude Perfect battles, he's made it down to the final 2 37 times.
Unbelievable.
That is consistency on another level.
Yeah.
He is unreal. He's actually unreal at every sport.
Baseball, basketball, NFL, everything.
Yeah.
He will have a go at it and he'll fucking ace it.
I reckon you could whack him at any position in any football team. He'd do a
you could
job.
throw him into fucking cornerback and stick a hurl in his hand without even explaining the rules, and he'd score like a few points.
Yeah, I don't even know what sport that is. That's
hurling.
Crazy. Hurling, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was going to say hockey with a stick, but I think that's hockey.
It's like hockey if it's played by like
football with a stick.
Mental Irishmen.
Yeah, you're right. The only hurling player I know is Dara O'Brien. He is a former hurler, apparently.
Shane Long also.
Shane Long was a
hero.
I feel like he's more of a football man, really.
Whenever he retired from fucking professional football, he went back and played hurling again.
But mate, honestly, hurling, curling, breakdance, honestly, I think Ty, I'm not even joking, actually across the board, his average level at every sport is better than anyone else I've ever seen.
Yeah. The only reason Joey Chestnut is your number 2 is because Ty hasn't tried it yet. Yeah,
I reckon he could wolf those dogs down like a proper glizzy gobbler, wouldn't he?
Easy, yeah.
There is an argument that he has had quite weak competition in the past. Obviously, famously, it took Kobe about 5 years to get his first battle win.
Gimpy twins that don't know what they're doing. Yeah.
And I also like how these days they praise God all the time.
Yeah, they're big Bible bashers. Yeah.
They used to just do trick shots. Now they do like Bible.
Yeah.
stuff.
It's like they're fucking Mormons.
Yeah. I saw a great TikTok that was like, do perfect in 2013. So it throws a tennis ball into a bin. Let's go. And then do perfect now, throws it in the bin. Let's go. And also praise God.
That's class.
Yeah. So I'm not sure about the God stuff, but it wouldn't surprise me if he actually does have a bit of biblical power, because
It does seem like it.
he's a mind bender. Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Basketball, even like fishing. Like, they go fishing and he's the best. It's absolutely insane.
It's annoying. It's like everyone has one friend that's just the best at everything.
All sports golf battle. Don't even get me started. Mate, he's unreal. And then they play snooker instead of putting, and he's still great at that.
Yeah.
And Americans don't even do snooker. They think it's pool. So it was unreal. Anyway, just wanted to shout out to a legend.
Yeah.
A legend of the game. And in my opinion, the greatest athlete of all time. I don't think there's any argument against that. I think it massively outweighs Hornswoggle. I can't lie.
I reckon if we were talking about Jared in his prime, there'd be an argument. But right now,
Yeah.
how they are at this current moment.
I see Ty as having a long prime as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's still in it, and he's been going 15 years.
Yeah.
With the power with God on his side.
No, yeah, and he's got God on his side. We forgot about that. He plays with God. Yeah. And Cody, and Garrett.
Yeah, what do you call the twins?
I know their names.
Kobe and Toby or something?
I think it's Corey and Kobe.
Right. Yeah, I don't think there's a Toby.
But like, they used to make fun of Kobe for not having a battle win for like 5 years. But Corey, the only battle win he had was the iPhone game battle, which
doesn't count. Yeah, that's a technicality.
Barely counts. And Ty still got to the final of that.
Yeah.
He's insane. He's unreal. Anyway, that will do it for another episode of Radio Rufus. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're on the road to 25k subs. That's the next number after 20k.
It is.
So if you like what you like and you know what you know, then smash the like button with your coccyx, and we'll be back with another episode next week. Thank you so much for listening, and back to you in the studio.
Leave them with a Top Gun quote.
Thank you so much for listening, and if you screw up even this much, you'll be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong. So there we go. You knew it was going to be that one.